I hit a year of being unemployed, and I promised last time that I would talk about Hi friends, I'm Anjelica from Anjeliqueca.com and at Anjelica on Instagram. Welcome back to my channel. I'm glad you found me again. In my getting to know me video, I talked a little bit about quitting my job. So in this video, I thought I would share some lessons that I've learned in being unemployed this past year by choice and share them with you. Before we begin, go ahead and subscribe and like this video. If you do like it, yeah, I'm happy that you're here. For a little bit of context, I quit my job in July 2019. I worked in a design tech startup and I got the job straight out of college. I was already working there during my senior year. I was grateful to be offered a full-time position straight after graduating. And then I worked there for 2 more years, which allowed me to pay off my debt and save a bit of money so that I could have the privilege to decide whether or not I would keep working or take a break and invest in myself in regards to traveling, seeing my family, and pursuing a few of my interests. If I knew that COVID was going to happen and that the job market would look so grim a year from July 2019, then I wouldn't change my decision. I'm not gonna say that it's been easy these past couple of months, but I wouldn't change my decision for the world. If you have a job right now, I'm not saying go quit your 9 to 5. Quitting isn't for everybody. You really have to look at your circumstances. What I did was I weighed the costs and the benefits of quitting my job. And I realized that for me, it cost more to stay where I was versus making a huge change in my life. So I quit, and I wouldn't change my decision if I knew that COVID was going to happen and that the worst case scenario that I had envisioned was actually going to be worse than I had thought. So the first lesson I would say is that no matter how prepared you are, life can come at you from all different angles. And there are things that are out of your control. So the best attitude to have is not focus on all those things that you can't control. Be non-judgmental about what is happening in life. Like, to not take it personally, because if you are judgmental, if you do take it personally, that puts a lot more pressure and stress on you versus you recognizing these are the things that I couldn't have predicted, I couldn't have controlled, and these are the things that are within my control. To be mindful of toxic positivity, like, you don't have to say, it's okay, I'll keep doing my best. I mean, that is a good attitude to have, is to show up and be your best self, but it's okay not to be okay, and it's okay to be frustrated and angry and sad, that life can suck sometimes. But you also have to keep moving and doing what puts you in a grounded, centered space so that you can move forward intentionally. Yeah. First lesson, life sucks, can't predict everything, and it's okay not to be okay. I don't know where I was going with that, but that's the first lesson, is life is so unpredictable. It's okay to be frustrated about what's going on in life, but you gotta keep showing up as your best self. And if your best self is getting out of bed, brushing your teeth and washing your face, and then going straight back into bed, then you showed up, and that's what matters. The next lesson that I learned is that rest is so not normalized in Western society, at least in like America, especially if you're a child of immigrants or you are an immigrant. It's not normalized because you see your parents who have worked so hard every single day to achieve that American dream. You feel the pressure to also keep working so that their dreams are achieved. But it's not just being a child of immigrants or being an immigrant yourself where you have to work really hard. It's our culture, it's our society, it's that hustle and grind, work hard mentality that normalizes not taking a break. And I think that you can see, especially now when people are working from home or when the job industry is so unpredictable, that a work-life balance is necessary and that there needs to be time to rest. You can also see society and culture shifting in terms of the backlash against girl boss culture and how that hustle and that grind culture can continue to oppress people. And so rest is really what I've learned this past year is it's an act of freedom. It's an act of resistance to what people have to say, what people expect of you. And it's an act of resilience because in order to keep going, you really need to pause and take a breath, was what I like to say to myself all the time, is to pause and take a breath and to recognize, okay, what am I doing? Where am I going? Am I living aligned to my values? Am I proud of the person that I'm becoming? Am I making decisions and am I acting in ways that are true to who I am and who I want to be? Giving yourself space to rest and fill your well so that you can keep going in the directions that are right for you. Which brings me to the third lesson. Rest and downtime can be really uncomfortable. Like really uncomfortable when you have it ingrained in you to work hard and hustle every single day. Yeah, when I first quit my job, I had so much time and I was just like, what do I do with myself? What do I do with all this time that I have? I don't know what to do. Oh, let me plan out my day. Like, I'm gonna go on a walk. I'm gonna exercise. I'm gonna do yoga. I'm gonna go see friends. I'm going to plan my trip. I'm going to start a blog. And I'm also going to schedule my playtime. Like, this is when I'm going to play video games. This is when I'm going to read. I digress, but that's how it felt. I had this urge to plan everything out and fill my schedule instead of just letting myself be. And it was the letting myself be that was very uncomfortable and very unnatural when I first quit my job. The lesson in that is that growth happens in discomfort. Growth happens when you push yourself out of your comfort zone, even if it's just baby steps out of your comfort zone. And I will say that putting myself in uncomfortable positions really highlighted, okay, these are the areas that I can work on. These are the areas that I can improve. It also highlighted, these are the narratives that I've been telling myself. And it gave me an opportunity to question, is this true? Do I still need to live my life with this story that I'm telling myself, or do I have the agency to change it? And you do. I'll also say that being uncomfortable, recognizing where your limits are, and then pushing yourself past those limits allows you to grow because it gives you space to play with all the different possibilities of who you are and how you act and how you respond to different situations. Stepping out of your comfort zone allows you to grow because it gives you space to step out of your routine. I think that traveling is a great way to create an environment that's different and uncomfortable and allow you to play with the possibilities of who you are and who you can be. Which leads me to the last lesson, which I think is best portrayed in an Anthony Bourdain quote. Travel is not reward for working, it's education for living. I know that we can't quite travel abroad, especially us US passport holders. We've been banned from certain, not banned, but we're not being allowed into certain countries that are opening their borders. And then in some states, you might still be in lockdown, but we still have the opportunity to travel safely within our backyard. When we go out and perform our daily needs, we can take a different route. We can go to a different store that we wouldn't have gone to because it's out of the way. But in giving ourselves the opportunity to go to different places, see different things, try new foods, we're not rewarding ourselves for working extremely hard. We should be doing these things already, because in trying new things, we're living and we're learning. We're not existing simply for those moments where we can feel okay to take a break. In taking ourselves out of our comfort zones, in traveling to new places, we are living. And in the process of living, we're learning. And I learned a lot from traveling to Japan with my boyfriend. I think traveling internationally, I will say, helped prepare us for quarantine in some ways. If you're interested, maybe I'll talk about that later. I also learned a lot in spending time with my dad's side of the family in Japan. I learned a lot about their culture. I also learned a lot when I went to the Philippines to spend time with both my mom and my dad's side of the family. Similarly to what I learned in Japan, I learned a lot about my family's history and what they went through. The lessons that I learned while I was abroad weren't things that I would get from going to work or going to school, because they were lessons that were passed down specifically from my family. It was the lessons that they learned from their lifetimes. It was a very special experience to hear the things that they went through when they were immigrating, or the things that they went through when they were growing up, and to recognize their strength, their courage, and their resiliency through it all. I think one of the most valuable things that I learned was that I have all of that within me too. I have my ancestors and I have my family's support, and that I can build on the lessons that they've learned so that I can conquer the obstacles that show up in my life. And that's a really special experience. I really can't, I don't know if I'm explaining it in a way that's easy to understand, but you just gotta do it. Like, if you can't travel and if you can't see where your family is from and have those conversations with, you know, cousins, if you have cousins that live in a different area, then, I mean, we're living in a very technologically advanced world, to say the least. So pick up a phone, FaceTime, Zoom, Skype, Google Meet your cousins, your aunts and uncles, your grandparents. Ask them about their lives. Ask them to share their stories with you, because in some way you're giving yourself the ability to transport yourself through their stories and to imagine what their life was like. And when it's safe to go out and to travel again, I hope you do give yourself the opportunity to take a weekend, take a week, give yourself space to rest, put yourself out of your comfort zone and experience and learn something new. I hope you give yourself the opportunity to really live and not just exist. I hope you learn something from my experiences. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe or give this video a like if you did like it, and I'll see you next time. Bye, friends. Oh wait, I forgot. In the comments below, what is one thing that you would do if COVID wasn't happening? All right, for real this time. Bye, friends.